Good morning, guys. Girls and boys, can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Okay. Thank you, Nadira. Okay. So I'll just share the screen. And before that, I just wanted to ask you whether I have given you any homeworks to be done. Did I? Hopefully, as I can remember, the last class we learned about class diagrams, isn't it, Puta? Class diagrams can homework. Can you remember? I cannot remember because since I'm doing many more classes, exactly which homework or else which section I was teaching for you. කෙනෙක් මට අමතක වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මම පොඩ්ඩක් මට රිමයින්ඩ් කරන්න මොනවද අපි ඉගෙනගෙන හිටියේ කියලා මම හිතන විදිහට use cases තමයි පටන් ගත්තේ නේද? We started to learn use cases, isn't it? Yeah. මේකනේ use cases නේද අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තේ පටන් ගත්තා ඒත් අපි මං detailed ඔයාලට කියලා දුන්නේ නෑ and after this there is another presentation with me. Soon after completing that presentation, hopefully we can start coding in Java. Okay. එතකොට මේක බලන්න use cases. Okay, so now you guys know Puta. Yeah. Did I ask you to come up with something? Did I give you a scenario or something? No homework. Okay, okay then. Okay, fine. I'll share the screen. Can you see the screen, Buddha?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So you guys, as I have taught you, use cases it's something like the things that we are doing in a system is known as use cases, and then the people who do that as known they are known as actors. Okay, if not we can say actor. The relationship, like in order to show the relationship in between a user and the activity that we are doing, that is known as use case diagram. Okay, so use case කියන්නේ මුලින්ම අපි scenario එකක් තියෙනවා නම්, okay, assume that there is a scenario with us. சரியா எங்ககிட்ட ஒரு ஒரு case study or else ஒரு scenario ஒன்று இருக்கின்ற வெச்சுக்கோங்க. ஸோ இந்த சினாரியோவை வந்து நாங்கள் ஃபர்ஸ்ட்டுக்கு எடுத்ததுக்கு பிறவே வந்து அதை டெவலப்மெண்ட் பண்ண முடியாது. ஓகே, வி கான் ஜஸ்ட் அட் ஒன்ஸ் டிவெலப் த சினாரியோ, isn't it? We can just read the thing and these are the requirements කියලා අපිට බලාගෙන එහෙම ඩෙවලොප් කරන්න යන්න බෑනේ. So the first thing, ඩිසයිනින් කියන පාස් එක තියෙනවා නේද? ඩිසයිනින් කියන පාස් එකේදී ගොඩාක් දේවල් තියෙනවා කරන්න. ඩෙවලොප්මන්ට් එක යන්න කලින් ඩිසයිනින් පාස් එකේදී ගොඩාක් දේවල් ෆිල්ෆිල් කරන්න තියෙනවා. ඒ දේවල් ඔක්කොම ෆිල්ෆිල් කරගත්තාම තමයි අපිට මේ ඩෙවලොප්මන්ට් කියන පාස් එකට යන්න පුළුවන්. It could be a ER diagram, which means database එකක් create කරන්නට වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙමත් නැත්නම් සිස්ටම් එකටම කියලා ගොඩාක් ඩිසයින්ස් තියෙනවා. Okay, so ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් ඔය requirement එක අරගත්ත කියලා කියන්න, you are having the requirements, and having that requirement you will be analyzing what are the use cases, මොන වගේ activities තියෙන්නේ. Okay, ඔයා බලනවා මේකේ තියෙන use cases මොනවාද කියලා, like things that the program or else the system has to be done කියන එක එයාලා pointed කරලා තියෙනවනේ. So the things that you will be doing through the system are known as use cases. So you will be selecting all the use cases and then you can particularly marking through the use cases, and then actors. We make a use කරන්නේ කවුද? managers ලාද, supervisors ලාද, users ලාද, customers ලාද, clients ලාද, නැත්නම් ස්පෝර්ට්මන්ස්ලද නැත්තම් අර විවිධ use cases විවිධ systems වලට කියලා තියෙනවනේ. So according to that particular scenario, you have to come up with a use case for that itself. Okay, so according to the scenario, your use case will be drawn. Okay, so here for an example, that day even I think I showed you these examples as well. මේක බලන්න, මේක ATM එකට හදලා තියෙන use case එකක්. දැන් මේ use case එක ගත්තාම බලන්න, ATM එකේ කරන්න පුළුවන් දේවල් තමයි මේ use cases වල දාලා තියෙන්නේ. ATM එකේ withdraw cash කරන්න පුළුවන්, cash balance එක බලන්න පුළුවන්, change එක pin එක change කරන්න පුළුවන්, deposit කරන්න පුළුවන්, cash එක transfer කරන්න පුළුවන්, isn't it? So the things that the user, or else the things that we can do with the system are given over here. Okay, and then if there is a person who is sitting behind the system and helping us to do these things, then we can add them as well. But as we know, only the machine is the one who is automatically doing all these things. Neither machine එක බලනවා අපේ account එකේ කොහමද amount එක තියෙන්නේ, balance එක කීයද කියලා නේද? ඊට පස්සේ withdraw කරන්නට එයා තමයි ඒ system එකෙන්ම අපිට මේ දේවල් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. So there is no any other actor involving in this system. That is in between the user and the machine, or else user and the system. තේරුණාද? එතකොට customer කෙනෙක් එවිත් මෙතන එයාට ඕනේ නම් withdraw කරනවා, නැත්නම් balance එක check කරනවා, නැත්නම් pin එක change කරනවා, cash එක deposit කරනවා, transfer කරනවා නම් කරන්න පුළුවන්. So things that the user can do has given over here. So this use case diagram is just for the ATM system. But we cannot draw same as that into other systems as well. Okay, මේ වගේම අපි හැම system එකක්ම draw කරන්න බෑ. So according to this system, this is a supermarket system. පුතා බලන්න ළමයි. මේකේ බලන්න actors ලා කීයක් නම් ඉන්නවද කියලා. Customer කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා, salesman කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා, cashier කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා, storekeeper, supplier. Likewise, there are almost five actors are there නේද? So each and every actors interact with these use cases. Okay, then customers ලට පුළුවන් stock gooding එක බලන්න, stocking goods බලන්න පුළුවන්ද, daily reports මොනවද එන්නේ කියලා බලන්න පුළුවන්ද? එයාලට ඒක invisible ද? Now is it invisible for us if we just assume that we are going to the supermarket, and then do we know the stock goods, how much is it there, and supply goods, how much they have supplied and everything? Are we like how much they are paying for the supplies and all? We don't have any idea because we don't have the access to those stuffs, isn't it? And then the cashier, they also doesn't have any access to these things. Okay, they interact with the customer, where we will be customers will be okay, customers will be paying the bill, and then the cashier will be gathering, isn't it? So then the people, or else the customer, or else the user will be purchasing the goods, and then cashier will check the goods, and then they will deliver it, isn't it? Or else they will give it to the user. Then return goods, if something is not good, that if you are not willing to purchase some, get the thing, or else assume that you have taken something to home, and then now it is not in the list, or else assume ඔයා මේක වැරදියට අරන් ඇවිත් කියලා. එතකොට return කරනවනේ කොහොමදත්. So that is in between you and the cashier. You are not going and talking to the salesman, or else to the storekeeper, isn't it? To do that stuff, isn't it? So මේ වගේ මේ system එකේ තුලින් ඔයාට කරන්නේ මේක. එතකොට cashier කියනවා then return කරන්න කියලා good මේක product එක නැත්තම් මේ good එක දෙන්න කියලා කියනවා. And then you are taking the thing, and then cashier මොනවද කරන්නේ, system එකේ ඒක deduct කරලා අර amount එක අරන් දෙනවා නේද from that system. Okay, system එකේ මේ දේවල් ඔක්කොම update වෙලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Supermarket system එකේ all the things has to be updated. Okay, and then stocking good එක. So this is known as stock management system. So under everything, now this is payroll system and then stock management system, both has been attached to one supermarket system itself. Okay, මේ supermarket system එකෙන්ම තියෙනවා stock management system, ඒ වගේම payroll system දෙකම තියෙනවා. හරිද? එතකොට payroll system එකට interact වෙන්නේ customers ලා and cashiers ලා. එතකොට stock management system එකේ salesman එවිත් බලනවා stock good එක කීයද තියෙන්නේ කියලා. Okay, එතකොට එයාට පුළුවන් stocking good එක එයා stock කරනවා. Okay, good ඔක්කොම stocking කරනවා. store keeper තමයි කීයද තියෙන්නේ stocking keep මේක බලනවා ඔක්කොම අරන් මෙයා තමයි මේකට import කරනවා. Okay, the system, okay, these product has been arrived, these are the goods that we have arrived කියන එක එයා system එකට මේව කරනවා, insert කරනවා. And then daily report, daily how many product has been sold out, how much we have to take, everything has to be updated from the storekeeper. And then the same person have to give the stock inventory as well. You have to keep record on stock inventory as well. And then supply goods, so supply එක කරන්නේ කවුද? That is only the supplier. Okay, there is no any connection between the storekeeper and the salesman, but the supplier will have a connection in between the supply goods. So they are the one who will be supplying the goods to this store, and then pay for the supply, that is the storekeeper. So soon after the supplier supplies the goods to the supermarket, the storekeeper will pay to the supplier. So මේ වගේ හැම detail එකක්ම මේ system එකේ තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Then only the owner of the supermarket will get to know about the incomes, outgoings, everything. If not, strangers are working in supermarket, right? We doesn't know who will stole or who would take things and all. So stock details has to be there, the payment details has to be there, everything has to be noted out. And then this use case diagram has been drawn for the library management system. I think I explained you all these things, isn't it? So මේකේ තියෙනවා library මම ආයෙත් ඔයාලට කියලා දෙන්නම්. Library management system එකේ interact කරන කට්ටිය librarian and then the student or its users කියලා අපිට දාගන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, we will take this system as a library which is in a school. Okay, school library system management system එකක් කියලා. So school එකේ ඉන්න librarian මොනවද කරන්නේ? They are the one who will be adding the publication. Okay, system එකේ මේ publication එකේ ඉඳලා අලුතින් book එකක් ඇවිත් තියෙනවා කියලා system එකට update කරනවා. And then adding the book as well. So this is the book name කියලා හරි මොනාරි book details ඔක්කොම දානවා. ඒ වගේම adding the branch. Okay, මොන branch එකද මේක? So in this branch only this book is available කියන එක දාන්න පුළුවන්. So there could be like many school, right? Branches තියෙනවා නේද? Even for schools there are branches, right? So in this branch this book is available with this book number, the publisher is this කියලා මෙතන දාන්න පුළුවන්. And then students ලගේ detail, මේ school එකේ ඉන්න students ලගේ details ඔක්කොම add කරන්නේ librarian. search කරන්න පුළුවන් මේ students ලට ඇවිල්ලා එයාලට නිකන් book rack එකේ ගාව ගිහින් search කරන්නට වඩා system එකේ තුලින් එයාලට search කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඒක හොඳයි නේද? So what these people can do is, the students can, what they can do is they can type a name of a book or else a author's name or whatever it is, and then they can search for the book. Okay, and make a search කරන්න පුළුවන් librarian කෙනෙකුටත් search කරන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, at the same time, because if a student cannot search for the book, then they can come and ask for the librarian to search and give it to them. Okay, and issue කරන්න පුළුවන් කාටද? librarian. Now assume that the student has selected a book, එතකොට librarian මොනවද කරන්නේ? issue කරනවා අර book එක and returning the book, and then penalty, and then issuing return book reports. මේ දෙකම students ලටත් librarian ටත් මේ දෙන්නටම මේක access එක තියෙනවා. issue එක කරන එකටත් ඒ වගේම return book report දෙකම report කරන එකට මේ student කියන user actor කෙනෙකුට ඒ වගේම librarian කියන actor ටත් ඒ දෙන්නටම access එක තියෙනවා. And then penalty report එක, that is also can be done by both the actors. And then changing the password, students lage password එක යාලට change කරන්න පුළුවන්, librarian ටත් ඕන නම් යාලගේ password එක change කරන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, so these are the functionalities that is happening inside the system. So I'll just show you a few examples, then you can understand. So ඔයාලට දැන් හිතන්න පුළුවන්, okay, දැන් මේ actors ලට මේ වගේ දේවල් මේ functionalities තියෙනවා, they can use these use cases කියලා, they can interact with these use cases කියලා. But how we can restrict them? Any idea? මේ librarian කියන කෙනාට මේ ඔක්කොම මේ accessibility තියෙනවා, but at the same time students doesn't have. So how we restrict them from the other from accessing other like use cases? Passwords like what? Password through what? For what we give password?
System access password change from different users.
Okay, so system access password කියන්නේ when the users are logging into the system, okay, login කියන එකේ තමයි අපි මේ restriction එක දෙන්නේ. Okay, through the login. So librarian will have a separate login where they can log in as an admin. So according to their username and the password, they will have another interface, and then the users will have a separate username and a password. Okay, so through the login only we can restrict this user accessibility for each of those use cases. Understood? තේරුණාද මේක? Let me open the other presentation as well, and most probably we'll be start coding by next week inshallah. Okay මම මේක ටක් ගාලා වලට කියලා දෙන්නම්. Then අපි okay, so then now you are having the requirement and then you have come up with a use case කියලා කියන්න. Reading that you can identify easily, right? So this could be a use case කියන එක you could easily identify, right? So use cases වෙනම ඔයාලා now even if there is a small scenario in that separately these people will interact with these කියන එක දීලා තියෙනවනේ. So you will be having the actors separately and then the use cases separately. So you can easily come up with the use cases, and then after coming up with these use cases you have to do something called, there are some other diagrams which you have to come up with Puta. Okay, so interaction diagram කියලා තියෙනවා. In even in that there are two kind of interaction diagrams, sequences diagram, collaboration diagrams කියලා දෙකක් තියෙනවා. Okay, so this describes the way the groups of objects interacts to complete the tasks. Okay, කියන්නේ දැන් ඔයාලට දන්නවා object oriented program එකක් කරනකොට in that we will be most of the time we will be coding through objects, right? We will be using objects. So assume that there are like there could be many objects, right? So how these objects are interacting with others කියන එක තමයි අපි මේ diagram එකේ තුලින් බලන්න යන්නේ. Okay, so as I told you there are two kind of interaction diagrams. One is sequences diagram and then the collaboration diagram. So we'll just check through that. Okay, so sequences diagram එකේ තියෙනවා emphasize on the time sequences of the messages, making මොන වගේ timing එකේද මේක වෙන්නේ කියන එක තමයි අපි, but like it emphasize how, like the timing of the sequences, how like in within which time this both the objects would interact. Okay, ඒ වගේ දේවල් තමයි අපි මේ sequences diagram එකේ draw කරලා පෙන්නන්නේ. I'll show you a few examples, then you will understand. Okay, okay, used primarily to show the interaction between objects in the sequential order and plan under the understand the detailed functionality of the existing or future scenario. Okay, so this could be really easy. The sequences program diagram could be really easy when it comes to understanding the program. Okay, functionalities. Okay, what are the functionalities that is existing in the system කියන එක අපිට මුලින්ම දැන් use cases එක තියෙනවා, but use case diagram එක බලලා අපිට එහෙමම develop කරන්න බෑ. Having that we have to like understand even in this diagram. Okay, even if we take a scenario, how the functionalities are interacting, how the users are interacting with the functionalities, what are the actual functionalities, okay, existing functionalities, and then features of the system කියන හැම එකක්ම අපි බලා ගන්න ඕනේ නම් මේ diagram එක, මේ වගේ diagram එකක් අපිට draw කරගන්න වෙනවා. So in order to draw this diagram we need to use these kind of symbols. Okay, object symbol කියලා තමයි අපි මේ symbol එකට කියනවා, like a rectangle වගේ එකක් තමයි අපි ඒකට පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. Okay, horizontal එකක්. So here we can call this as object symbol. ඒ වගේම activation box කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. Okay, activation box එක කියලා කියන්නේ the time period. Okay, like how long it takes. ඒ වගේ මම කියවනේ sequences එකේ time එකත් අපි බලනවා කියලා. So time duration in between the two functionalities ඒ වගේ එකක් පෙන්වන්න තමයි අපි මේ activation box එක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. Here they have given represent the class or else object. So this symbol, if you saw symbol like in a sequences program, if you saw something like this, you have to understand okay, there is a class or an object කියන එක. Understood? Then if you see something like a vertical box like this, rectangle, then you have to understand time needed for an object to complete the task එක තමයි එතන දීලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා. And actor, same as we learned in the use cases, we are having actors in this as well. Shows the entities that interacts with or an external to the system. It could be an entity, a person, or else an external who interacts with the system. කවුද මේ සිස්ටම් එකත් එක්ක interact කරන්න කියන එක තමයි මේ symbol එකෙන් represent කරන්නේ. And then dotted line එකක් වගේ මේ වගේ එකක් තිබ්බනම් you have to understand that is the lifeline. Okay, so sequential events that occur to an object during the character process. How long this takes, okay, the lifetime of this thing. මේ තැන වෙනකම් තමයි මේ object එකෙන් වැඩක් තියෙන්නේ. Okay, lifetime of the object. So from here to here the object's duration could be taken. This object could be used. ඒ වගේ එකක් represent කරන්න අපිට මේ වගේ dotted line පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්, which is the lifetime. And then the arrow, it represent it's the message symbol. Okay, so used when the sender must wait for a response to a message before it continue. So this represents when your user is waiting for the response. Okay, then අපි ATM එකට card එක දාලා නිකන් අපිට ඕන විදියට කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්ද? We have to wait until it give the message for us. Okay, so we insert the card and then we wait for a while, then it asks you to enter the pin number, then we wait for a while, then it recognize, okay, this is a correct number or not කියන එක. If it is wrong, then it would give you a message. If not, it would allow you to use the other steps, isn't it, to do the other steps. So same as that. Okay, ඒ වගේම තියෙනවා මේ වගේ තව symbols තියෙනවා ඒකෙදි. This symbol is just a filled arrow, right? Can you see it's a filled arrow? But this is not like that. Okay, so may arrow එක පාවිච්චි කරනවා නම් okay, I'll show you an example. With the example we'll go through. Okay, then you will understand. Okay, look at this system. Okay, I hope you can see the system. So this is for an ATM. Okay, ATM for a system. Okay, for an ATM system for withdrawal එකට විතරක් තමයි මේ sequences diagram එක draw කරලා තියෙන්නේ. So look at this, Puta. This is an actor, the duration. Okay, so an actor will insert the card into the system. ATM කියන එක object එකක්. බලන්න මේක තමයි object එකක් කියලා අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන්. This has been represented in very vertical, right? So all the others are no, this is in horizontal, so we have to understand this. These two are objects. Okay, එතකොට ATM එක object එකක්, මේකත් object එකක්, valid card කියන එකත් object එකක්. මේක වෙනම බලනවා. මේක handle request, complete request. Okay, all this comes under transaction. Sorry, complete transaction. All this comes under objects. So card එක මේ duration එක මොනවාද වෙන්නේ? So first step, the user will enter the card into the system. Then the ATM machine, it will take the same time period to enter the card number as well. It will ask you to allow to enter the card number as well. So you will enter the card number into the system. Then it would check. The ATM, what it will do is taking the card, it will check the card number. Card එකට number එකක් තියෙනවනේ. ඒ card number එක යවනවා කොහෙටද? Database එකට. It would check whether this card number is available there in the database. හරිද? database එකේ තියෙනවා නම් yes, it is there. Card okay කියන එක මෙයා message එක send කරනවා. Okay, so this is the time, right? So we are waiting for until it give you the reply. So the database would give the reply to the ATM machine, and then ATM machine would ask you to request pin. Okay, it would request the pin number from you. So you will be entering the pin number, and then what will happen? Again, the ATM machine, it will obtain the menu. Once after the the use pin number is given. Okay, pin number එක දුන්නාම it will obtain you the menu. එතකොට ඔයා තමයි මේ menu එකේදී ඔයාලා බලනවා මොනවාද කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා ඔක්කොම. එතකොට validate card එක තමයි මෙතන වෙන්නේ. හරිද? validation card එක තමයි මෙතන interaction එක වෙන්නේ. So this is something, validation card, whether it is checking whether the card number is correct and then the pin number is correct. All these things are happening inside this validation. Under the validation, it will validate whether the card number is correct, the pin number is correct, everything. So during this time you will do these things. Card number එක input කරන එක, pin number එක input කරන එක, and then the menu එකේදී invalid card එකක් නම්, invalid pin number එකක් නම්, you will ඉങ്ങനെ මෙතනෙන්ම ඔයාට මේ time period එකෙන්ම ඔයාට ඉවර වෙනවා. The card would come out. Okay, so then menu එක එන්න කලින් main card එක එළියට එනවා. If the pin number or else the card number is incorrect, or else if it has been expired, then in this time period itself, බලන්න මේ time period මෙතනෙන්ම ඉවර වෙනවා. இங்கனைக்கு உங்களுக்கு என்ன நடக்கும்னு சொன்னா, invalid card number னு சொன்னா, you will be getting the card number and you won't be able to continue with the other steps. Okay, again you have to put the card and then you have to correctly insert the pin number and you have to do it from the beginning. So this time duration, this lifetime if not, is completed through here. මෙතනින් මේක ඉවරයි. හරිද? And then මේ තියෙන මේ lifetime එක ඉවර වෙනවා validation card එක. ඊට පස්සේ if the pin number and the card number everything is correct, then the second lifetime, okay, where you would be requesting for withdrawal. Okay, එතකොට request කරාම the ATM machine will check with the database whether the balance එක request කරනවා from the database. If the balance is correct, okay, if the amount is available in the database, if it shows okay, they can withdraw. Now assume the user has typed 10,000. So if the 10,000 is there in the account, then database would give the it would say to the ATM machine, yeah, the balance is okay, they are having the amount, then you can give the money කියලා. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔයාට මොනවද කරන්නේ? මේ lifetime එක මෙතනින් ඉවර වෙනවා. But if the balance is there, okay, if the balance is there, then you can enter the amount. නේද? enter කරන්න amount එක කියලා කියනවා, requesting the amount. Then you would enter the amount. Okay, so then මේක මෙතනින්ම withdrawal lifetime එක මෙතනින් ඉවර වෙනවා. Because up to amount inserting you would interact with this. Okay, if the balance is not there, then you won't be able to enter the amount. නේද? ඒ හින්දා තමයි මේක මෙතනින්ම user lifetime එක මෙතනින් ඉවර වෙනවා, time එක. Okay, interaction time එක. But furthermore, if you are having the balance and then if you are like if you can interact with the system, if you can continue, then what you will do, you will give the amount and then the system it would check with the database and then it would give you the transaction. You can do you can get the cash, isn't it? Okay, insufficient cash එකක් නම් it would show you the message insufficient cash කියලා. If not, what you have to do, you will be able to get the money from the system. Okay, ATM එකෙන්ම යාට දැන් මෙතන user මොකුත් කරන්නේ නැහනේ. ඒ හින්දා තමයි මෙතන interaction එකක් නැත්තේ. Okay, එතකොට debit amount එක debit කරනවා. Then the system, the database එකෙන් ඉඳලා amount එක දෙන්න කියලා කියනවා. Then debit response එක දෙනවා. Then you will get the amount and then you can go home. Okay, get the card and then you at once you can't go home, then the next lifetime, okay, where you will get the card එක ගන්න කියලා කියනවා. Then you will remove the card. See, the arrow is showing from the ATM you would remove the card and then cash එක ආවනම් cash එක ගන්නවා. ඊට cash එක ගන්න කියලා කියනවා. Then you would remove the cash from the machine and then receipt එක ඕනේ නම් මෙයා receipt එක දෙනවා. You can get the receipt and you can leave from the place. So look at this, just for the withdrawal, how long it is taking, like the process. Okay, මේ වගේ තමයි අපි sequences program එකේදී කවුද මොනවාද කරන්නේ, machine එක database එකත් එක්ක කොහොමද interact කරන්නේ, හැම දෙයක්ම අපි මේකෙන් තමයි බලා ගන්න, මේකෙන් easily අපිට understand කරගන්න පුළුවන්. Understood? So see, just a simple thing, right? Like within even 3 or 2 minutes we are just going to the ATM machine and then putting the card and getting the amount and coming. But inside the machine, and then for you and the machine, how long it is taking to do those, like how many things are happening, isn't it? කොච්චර දේවල් නම් වෙනවද නේද? எவ்வளோ விஷயம் நடக்குது. அப்ப நீங்க இது எல்லாத்தையும் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிக்கொள்ளணும்டா கிளியரா உங்களுக்கும் மெஷினுக்கும் உங்களுக்கும் சிஸ்டம்க்குமான இன்டராக்ஷனை பார்த்துக்கொள்ளணும்டா. நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி ඉන්ටරැක්ෂන් එක තමයි අපි මේකෙන් අපි ඩ්‍රෝ කරගන්නේ. සීක්වන්සස් ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් උනත් එහෙම තමයි. කොලැබොරේෂන් ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් සිස්ටම් මේ ඩයග්‍රෑම් උනත් එහෙම තමයි. හරිද? දෙකෙන්ම අපි බලන්නේ interaction between the user, ATM, database ඒ දේවල්. හරිද? now sequences diagram තව එකක් මෙතන තියෙනවා. okay, so this is for the bad card. Okay, so let's see user ATM user මෙතෙන්ට actor කෙනෙක්ව දාන්නත් පුළුවන්. ATM ඒ වගේම currency. okay, මේක okay, so user මෙතන actor කෙනෙක්ව දාන්නත් පුළුවන්. if not you can use a object somehow that is also an object, right? so then system එකේ තුලේ ATM එක පාවිච්චි කරන්න දැන් user කෙනෙක් එනවා. then the ATM will display the screen. okay, so then making මොනවද කරන්නේ insert card එක. then user මොනවද කරන්නේ insert කරන card එක. and then ATM will request for the password. then the user will insert the password. then the ATM will verify the account. okay, it will verify it with the consortium because it has to check whether this is the correct account or not. okay, එතකොට මෙයා verify කරගත්තට පස්සේ what the bank will do is verify card with the bank itself. okay, මේ verify කරන account එක අපි ඊට පස්සේ අපි verify කරනවා bank card එක bank එකත් එක්ක is this is related to this particular bank කියන එක. if the bad card is okay, if it is verified and if it is okay with the bank, then it will say okay there is an account with this account number or else with this card number කියලා. එතකොට bad account එක open වෙනවා. okay, account message එකක් මෙයාට එනවා. එතකොට මෙයාට පුළුවන් ඒත් එක්කම print receipt කරනවා, eject card කරනවා. මේක පොඩි මේකක් එක නේද? just card system එකක් නේ. okay, I'll just show you another system. okay, so here a scenario has been given. Draw the sequences diagram for the online shopping system. okay, මේක අපි මම ඔයාලට මේක explain කරන්නම් and there could be some other scenarios as well as I can remember. I created this for when I was at eSoft. එතකොට බලන්න making objects කියලා වෙනම දීලා තියෙනවා. හරිද? objects තියෙනවා customer sales department ඒ වගේම තියෙනවා customer support කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. objects මේ ඔක්කොම object. හරි? mail department accounts කියලා තියෙනවා. okay, all these are objects. This is a simple system where customers can call to the sales department. Understand? Customer can call to whom? Sales department. And customer support, what is this? Customer support can hold the class and reply. Okay. So customer support can hold the call itself. Okay. This is not the class. This should be call. Okay. Call. එතකොට customer support මොනවද කරන්නේ? They can hold the call and reply. Okay. And then the customer also can place order to sale department, and then the sales department commit the order to the mail department. Okay. Then the customer can place order to the sales department itself. එතකොට sales department මොනවද කරන්නේ? අර order එක අරන් mail department එකට දෙනවලු. හරි? So the mail department will ship the order to the customer. So mail department will be interacting with the customer. Then finally the payment can be done directly to the accounts from the customers, so that the account will give the receipt for the customer. So finally the customer will be having an interaction with the accounts department, where accounts department will be giving a receipt to the customer. Look at this. This is how you draw the diagram for that particular scenario. So see, customer කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා, sales department, customer support department, mail department, accounts කියලා. හරි? So the customer will call to whom? Sales department, as we were telling. Then the customer can also call to the customer supports. Okay, මේ දෙන්නටම call කරන්න පුළුවන්. Sales department එකත් call කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම customer support එකටත් call කරන්න පුළුවන්. then මේ customer support මොනවද කරන්නේ? මෙයාට hold on කරලා මෙයාට reply කරන්න පුළුවන්. This is the reply, right? Dotted line එකේ දීලා තියෙන reply කරන්න පුළුවන් hold on කළා. We have to wait for a while and then they would ඒකයි කියන්නේ දැන් අපි මොනාරි hospital එකට හරි මොනාරි එකකට call කරාම line එකේ ඉන්න ඔයාලට like සුළු වෙලාවකින් ඔයාත් එක්ක කවුරු හරි interact කරනවා එහෙම කියලා කියනවනේ. So it's like holding, isn't it? So customer support will hold and then they would reply you. Then customer can place order with where? To the sales department. They would order with the sales department. Then the sales department commit the order with the mail department. මෙයා මේ order එක දුන්න order එක commit කරනවා mail department එකත් එක්ක. Then mail department will directly mail it to the customer. Okay, so it would take some time, isn't it? So ඒකයි මේක dotted line එකේ දීලා තියෙන්නේ. So customer මේ mail department එක mail කරනවා customer ට. ඊපස්සේ customer මොනවද කරන්නේ? payment එක දෙනවා account එකට. account එකෙන් ඉඳලා receipt එක සුළු වෙලාවකින් නැත්තම් even at that time itself accountant will send the receipt to the customer through the mail or else to your phone. You would get a message, right, saying that you have done the payment, this is your receipt කියලා. So something like that. So this is just an online shopping system එකට draw කරලා තියෙන sequences program එක. Okay guys, I hope you understand. Collaboration diagram එක අපි දැන් බලමු. Collaboration diagram එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ also called the communication diagram or an interaction diagram කියලා. This shows the relationship between the objects, the order of the message pass between them. Okay, so this shows the message pass as well in between the objects. So here collaboration diagram for an ATM system කියලා දීලා තියෙනවා. Look at this. The blank client කියලා object එකක් තියෙනවා, ATM machine object, account object, and then checking account කියලා object එකක් තියෙනවා. So the bank account will give one message to what? Okay, to the ATM machine. Okay, so the ATM machine give a message to the account give a message to the checking account, and then checking account give a message to the account, and then account again give the message to the ATM, and then ATM give the message to the bank account. So what are the things that the bank client can give? They can enter kind කියලා කියන්නේ they can enter the pin number, the withdrawal මොනවාද නැත්නම් deposit කරන්න ඕනේද නැත්නම් check balance කරන්න ඕනේද, requesting. Okay, so they can enters whatever they want. Enter an amount, they can do an enter an amount, terminate කරන්න පුළුවන්. මේ දේවල් ඔක්කොම bank client කෙනෙකුට කරන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, so then soon after they enter something like that, account amount එකක් නැත්නම් එයා withdrawal කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා savings account එකේ ගන්න ඕනේ මොනාරි එකක් එහෙම enter කරාම ATM machine ඒ message එක pass කරන්නේ කාටද? Requesting. Okay, first thing, okay, look at this. First thing, okay, we'll go by the number. Okay, we'll just go through by the number. First, number 1, request kind කියලා තියෙනවනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයා දැන් ATM machine එකේ ඉස්සරහා ඉන්නවා කියලා හිතන්න. Okay, you are standing in front of the ATM machine. So it is currently requesting from you, right? It requests, isn't it? Enter, put your card into the system කියලා request කරනවා. Enter request kind. Okay, so when it is requesting, you would enter the enter the card. Enter kind කියන්නේ you would enter the card. Then it would request you to the what you wanted to do. You wanted to withdraw or deposit or check balance or what? Then you would enter a kind. Again you enter a kind. That means I wanted to withdraw, what deposit or whatever you want. So that those two comes under the same. Okay, then number 2 is in. Okay, now request amount. Then ඔයා withdraw කරන්න ඕනේ කියන enter kind එක දුන්නා කියලා කියමුකෝ. So then it would ask you to enter the amount. Then you would enter the amount as well. නේද? Request amount එක දෙන්නාම enter amount number 4. Now soon after you enter the amount, then it won't interact with you, but it would send the message to the account, process the transaction. So account would check it with the checking account. Okay, so number 6, number 7, number 6, withdraw from the checking account. Get the amount from the withdraw. It would withdraw the amount from the checking account, and then withdrawal success nang e message එක යවනවා account එකට. 7, number 7. And then transaction successful. It would send the message to the ATM. Transaction successful. And then okay, dispense your cash. Okay, dispense your card. Sorry, dispense your card mean cash means it would give you the cash if it is successful, isn't it? If you assume that you have withdrawal the cash, and then it will give you the cash, right? The machine would ask you to get the cash from the machine and then request to take the cash. Yeah, okay, එතකොට මෙතනින් ඒක dispense කරලා request to get the cash from the machine, and then take the cash. Okay, oya making take the cash and then request continuation. It would give you the cash and then it would ask you whether you wanted to continue with the machine මොනාරි වෙන මොනාරි transaction එකක් කරන්න ඕනේද කියලා. So if you are willing to do another transaction, you can terminate. Yeah, 13, number 13, terminate. Again, you can do the things. If not, finally it would print the receipt, and then that is the interaction between you and the ATM machine. Make a තේරුණාද? That means this collaboration diagram shows the interaction with the message itself. බලන්න 1 2 3 4 කියලා message එකත් එක්කම interaction එක පෙන්නලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට easily අපිට understand කරගන්න පුළුවන්. මෙතන බලන්න object okay, draw a collaboration diagram for this thing. So object කියලා දීලා තියෙනවා administrators and then web app user interface වගේම user validator, user database කියන එක තමයි object එක. Administrator can find a user and update a user. From web application, user interface can validate user, look up for the user and update the user. Okay. So let's see. So this is how the system can be drawn. Administrator, එයා මොනවද කරන්නේ? Find a user and update a user. එයාට දෙකම කරන්න පුළුවන්. And then web app user interface මොනවද කරන්නේ? Find a user කියලා දුන්නාම validate user second like the 2.1 validate update user කියලා කියන්නේ 2.1 එක. හරි? then validate user කරනවා user validator කියන මේ object එකත් එක්ක. If not find a user කියලා මේ administrator දුන්නා නම් මේකට එතකොට web application එක මොනවද කරන්නේ 1.1 look up for the user, because here this is number 1, so there is nothing like if the user can do both, right? Administrator can do both. They can find a user and then they can update a user as well. If they are finding for a user, then 1.1 where from the user database the system would look up for that particular user. Okay, then හිතන්නකෝ administrator කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. then හිතන්න මං තමයි administrator කියලා. හරිද? දැන් මම මොනවද කරන්නේ? මං මේ web application එකට ඇවිල්ලා මට ඕනේ දැන් 002 කියන user ව search කරන්න. හරිද? එතකොට එයාගේ details ඔක්කොම බලා ගන්න ඕනේ. I just wanted to know more details about that particular user. So what am I doing is entering the data into the like entering the ID of that particular user into the web application and finding. Then from the user database එකක් තියෙන්නේ. ඒකෙන් ඉඳලා 002 කියන කෙනා ඉන්නවද නැද්ද කියලා 1.1 here looking up for the user. That what will happen. And then administrator මං මොනවද කරන්න යන්නේ නම් එයාගේ නම මට update කරන්න ඕනේ. I just wanted to change the name or something. So validator user මෙයා validate කරනවා user හරිද මේ user ද මෙයාවද ඔයා change කරන්න ඕනේ මෙයාගේ නමද change කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා validate කරගන්නවා 2.1. 2.2 එකේ බලන්න database එකේදී අපි එයාව update කරනවා. It means that means we are updating the name or else address or whatever it is, phone number or whatever. So administrator can do all these things. So it is like a simple thing which is happening in between the user and the system, but we doesn't know actually what is happening inside. තේරුණාද? එතුළ මොනවාද වෙන්නේ කියන එක දන්නේ නැහනේ. ඒ අර එතුළ වෙන දේ පෙන්වන්න තමයි අපි මේ sequences diagram, collaboration diagram ඔක්කොම මේ අපි draw කරලා බලන්නේ. State diagram කියන එක වෙනම එකක්. හරිද? So this diagram can be used to describe the behaviors of a system. Describes all the possible state of an object as event occur. ඒ වගේම මේ state diagram කියලා කියන්නේ පුතා state diagrams කියන්න சொன்னா behaviors ඩයින්නා நாங்க පාතිக்கிறோம் attributes කියන්නේ ඒක data එකක් නැත්නම් state එකක් කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන් behaviors කියලා ගත්තාම method එකක් functionality එකක් නේද ඒ වගේ එකට තමයි අපි කියන්නේ behaviors කියලා so state diagram එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ we are showing the behaviors in between the objects. So in order to draw the state diagram, so I'll just show you all these diagrams. Later on, you will be detailed learning all these things when it comes to your higher studies. So since this is just a diploma level, not even diploma level, right? So you just get the idea, only the basic knowledge. I'll just explain you, okay? So මේකේ තියෙනවා state කියලා symbol එකක් so the symbol represents the simple state එකක් ඒ වගේම තව එකක් තියෙනවා මේක මේ වගේ එකක් okay like fully blank තිබ්බනම් ඒක simple state එකක් but if it is something like this with a border kind of thing state with internal activity එකත් එක්කම තියෙන state එකක් තමයි මේ වගේ එකක් අපි represent කරන්නේ then transition represent the path between the different state of an object and then initial state එක represent කරන්න අපිට මේ වගේ period symbol එකක් විදිහට පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන් represent the object's initial state what is the initial state කියලා final state එක represent කරන්න we can use something like this destroy an object okay for example now initial state එකේ okay a user is interacting entering the card verifying the PIN number, okay, NIP, and then selecting the amount, and then dispense and then ejecting the card. So this is what simply happening inside the system and final stage of the process. Simple as this. State diagram කියන්නේ මේක. හරිද? Next මොනවාද වෙන්නේ කියන එක තමයි පෙන්නන්නේ. Yes, state diagram for another thing. Okay. For an online shopping. So state currently the position is this okay then තමයි පටන් ගන්න තියන්නේ and then අපි මොනවද කරන්නේ නම් okay we will be having an interaction menu okay in that it would ask you to register or else login so login එක අපි දෙන්නේ කවුද user has to give the login number if the login password and the username is correct and then what will happen new sale එකට යන්න පුළුවන් okay new sale එකට යන්න පුළුවන් එහෙමත් නැත්නම් what would happen again here another arrow is directly again it is interacting with the same state because since the login details is incorrect it would ask you to login again login failed කියන එක ආයෙත් පෙන්නනවා if the login details are correct then we can the system would allow to continue with the new sales and then again get the specification okay that means you are getting into the system and then new sale මොනවද තියෙන්නේ ඒකෙන් specifically ඔයා බලනවා මේ product එක බලන්න පුළුවන් මේ buy කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියන එක ඔක්කොම and then here barcode invalid කියන එක දෙනවනේ so it is like when you are trying to purchase something okay scanning and when you trying to purchasing something then if the barcode is invalid then it would show you an error and then again from the beginning you have to come log in again then again and again you have to do the same steps okay with this if the barcode is okay fine ඉතින් scanning item එක හරි කියලා එතකොට මොනවාද general receipt කියන්නේ එක generates receipt කියන්නේ එක okay if everything is okay the barcode will be generated as a receipt and then you can get the product and then you can go home but in case if the scanning item is incorrect and then what would happen is it would again it would relocate you to the first state okay and then assume ඔයා දැන් new sale එකේ ගිහින් බලනවා you are not interested in anything එතකොට ඔයාට log out කරන්නත් පුළුවන් from there itself new sale state එකේ ඉඳලම log out කරන්නත් පුළුවන් okay so that is one thing මේක තව එකක් බලන්න state diagram for a hotel booking system so this is what with this one right the second state with internal activity may ඔක්කොම නිකන් blank activities but this is with internal activity see make inquiry check in ඒ වගේම order eatable and then check out මේ තුනම හතරම තමයි තියෙන්නේ so make inquiry එකේ තියෙනවා do or request for room do or check room available exit room available not available okay room is available or not available කියන එක බලන්න පුළුවන් ඒ වගේම room available තියෙනවා නම් check in කරනවා. check in කරනකොට entry room available. okay ඒ වගේම do booking room and check in. මේ ඔක්කොම තමයි interaction මොනවාද the activities that is happening. And then the order eatables, do order from menu, exit order place. ඒ වගේම do make final payment, exit all action done. Now see initial state, from the initial state making an inquiry. We are requesting in a hotel whether we are requesting for a room. So then room available තියනවද කියන එක බලනවා. If it is available, what we can do, we can check into a room. okay අපිට පුළුවන් check කරන්න availability එක තියනවද කියලා. If it is available, we can check into a room, and then from the room we can order for eatable. okay order කරන්න පුළුවන් මොනාරි බඩගිනි නම් මොනාරි order කරලා කන්න පුළුවන් නේද. so order eatable එකේ මොනවද කරන්නේ, we can order in case if it is like the ඔයාට ඕන නැත්නම් you can cancel the order as well. okay exit order the place as well. place the order exit කරන්නත් පුළුවන් නැත්නම් order කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. so then මේක නිකන් මේක check in වුණාම ඔයාට ඕනේ නම් මේක order කරන්න පුළුවන් නැත්නම් ඔයාට order කරන්න නැතුව ඉන්නත් පුළුවන්. then දවසක් 3ක් හිටියා කියලා කියමු room එකේ. then ඔයා check out කරන්න ඕනේ, want to leave. then you have to check out with the check out option. You have to interact with this state where you would do the final payment and then you can go home. so that is the final stage. so room එක තියනව නම් තමයි ඔයාට මේ දේවල් ඔක්කොම කරන්න පුළුවන්. if the room is not available, again the system would end up over here. so that is why both are interacting with the final stage. okay so that means the system would end up over there. Make it clear is this clear up to here? so you know sequences diagram, collaboration diagram, state diagrams as well නේද. එතකොට මේ diagrams ටික ඔයාලා බලලා තියාගන්න. it would really help you when in your future. activity diagrams. okay activity diagrams, that is also a kind of a same thing. okay we'll just have a look on this as well. ඊට පස්සේ මම ඔයාලට Java presentation එක explain කරන්නම්. no need other diagrams. all these are diagrams, so like similar diagrams. you have to learn all these things when it comes to your higher studies like top up and all. you have to do these diagrams. okay you have to come up with these diagrams separately. there are subjects for this activity diagrams. මේකට වෙනම කියලා subjects තියෙනවා. මම ඔයාලට මේක කියලා දෙන්නේ later on. ඔයාලට මේක බැලුවම අපි මේක ඉගෙන ගත්තනේ කියන පොඩි idea එකක් හරි තියෙන්නේ. you would even have a small idea about this activity diagram, sequences diagram and all, right? so that is why I'm just explaining this to you. so activity diagram means describes the workflow behavior of a system. workflow describe the state of an activities by showing the sequences of activities performed, reasons and when to use, to model the workflow behind the system behind designed, and then describe the sequences from an activity to another, and then describe the complicated sequences algorithm, describes the parallel branched and then concurrent flow of the system. okay so activity diagrams we can use it in several areas. okay several like in several areas we can use activity diagram. and also mainly activity diagram can be drawn before we develop the system, before we come up with all the others like other diagrams, class diagrams, others diagram ඔක්කොම draw කරන්න කලින් work flow එක කොහොමද මේ system එකේ වෙන්නේ යන්නේ කියන එක බලා ගන්නට අපිට මේ වගේ activity diagram එකක් බලා draw කරගන්න පුළුවන්. now in sequence diagram, collaboration diagram, state diagram මේ හැම එකෙම like there are few like state එක පෙන්නනවා නැත්නම් කොහොමද මේ objects interact කරන්න කියන දේවල් නේ පෙන්වන්නේ. but in this activity diagram එකේ ඔයාලට හැම දෙයක්ම බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. the time duration, the states currently, and then objects, interaction between the objects, everything will be shown in this activity diagram. it is really easy for you to understand. so see, this is an activity diagram for an ATM system. so the customer, ATM machine and the bank. so these are the three objects. so first thing, currently it is the state is on, right? so currently the card will be inserted into the system, and then second, third, enter password and enter pin, and then fourth, ATM machine would take the insert pin number and then it would check with the bank to authorities එකත් එක බලනවා authorize කරලා බලනවා. Okay, whether this is authorized or not. If the pin number is valid, okay, you would enter the amount and then you can check the balance account and all. Okay, account balance එක බලන්න පුළුවන්. If the pin number is invalid, in this itself, in this stage itself, it would come here and then eject card එක eject කරනවා and then take the card. If the pin number is correct, you can go for number 5. Okay, so you can enter the amount, you can check the balance and then you can enter the amount. Okay, so then balance inquiry එක බලනවා. මේකෙන් බලන්න balance inquiry එක බලනකොට balance amount එක තියෙනවා නම් මෙතන බලන්න take money from the slot කියන එක පෙන්නනවා. Okay, if the balance is there. But if the balance amount is not there, then it would come over here. Show balance එකට. හරිද? Show ඔයා ගන්නව නම් amount එක ගන්නව නම් you can get it from here. Okay, so then if it is not there, the amount is not there, or else if you wanted to check the amount, then show amount එකට ආවිල්ලා මෙතන amount එක කීයද කියන එක පෙන්නනවා. Okay, and then eject the card and then you can take the card and go. If you wanted to get the if you wanted to withdraw the amount, and then what you do, debit the account from the amount, you can get the debit the amount and then you can see the how much is the amount. Okay, I think this is to deposit. I think this is showing, yeah, you would amount deposit the amount. I think you would debit the amount and then show the balance. This is this much you have in the account, and then eject the card and then you take the card with you. Okay, so this is how the activity diagram could be drawn. Here they have given a small scenario. States fill out the expenses form. Okay, expenses form එක fill කරන්න. Expenses form initiated initial එක එහෙමත් නැත්නම් expenses form error තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම validate expenses, enter expenses, payroll, ඒ වගේම payroll field, pay employee. Once the system states the calculator consultant will fill out the expenses form, then the system will check with the validation expenses. So if the expenses form is initial, then it will take the next level extension span, enter the expansions in the payroll, or if it is invalid, then the expense form error will take the fill out expenses form again. In the form, it valid the next valid the next level will be, okay, we'll look at this scenario. Look at this. Customer, accountant, payroll services. Initially, customer is in here. Fill out the expenses form. Mia fill karana expenses form එක. If it is initial, expenses form එක initial nang, okay, initially ඔයා fill කරනව නම්, okay, initial කරනම් validate කරන expenses එක. Okay, validate නම්, if it is validate නම්, it would ask you to enter the expenses payroll එක. Okay, if it is invalid, again you have to expense error එක check කරන්න ඕනේ. Again you have to fill out the form. Okay, so initial එකක් නම් දැන් තමයි ඔයා fill කරනවා නම් ඔයා මේකට දීලා මෙහෙම යන්න පුළුවන්. If it is correct, everything is valided, and then valid නම් ඔයාට enter expenses එක ගරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්. If it is invalid නම් ඔයා ආයෙත් මේක fill කරන්න වෙනවා. හරියට fill කරලා ආයෙත් ඔයාට මේක දෙන්න වෙනවා. හරිද? Then soon after the validation is done, you would be entering the expenses payroll, that is to the accountant. Then accountant will send it to the payroll field. Okay, so payroll file එකේ තියෙනවා මියා මේ payroll service මොනවද කරන්නේ, payroll file එකෙන් check කරලා payment එක employee ට දෙනවා. Okay, එතකොට payment එක ගන්න ඕනේ නම් employee කෙනෙක් මොනවද කරන්න ඕනේ, එයාගේ details ඔක්කොම expenses card එක ඔක්කොම fill කරලා form එක දෙන්න ඕනේ. If it is valid, then they will get paid. Employment එක employee කෙනාට employee ට payment එක කරනවා. And finally this stage would end over here. So that is activity diagram. Physical diagram is not needed for now. Up to activity diagram soala denagatta nan hari. Okay, so just get the idea, that's it. I won't ask you to draw it and everything. You have to know for what kind of purpose we can use these kind of diagrams keneka. Sequences diagram, collaboration diagram, state diagram, and then activity diagrams gena vitarai api gena gatte. These diagrams can mainly use just to show the interaction between the objects and then the time duration, isn't it? so ඔයාලට මේක පාවිච්චි කරලා ඔයාලට interaction between the objects එක හරියට ලස්සනට පෙන්වන්න පුළුවන්. With the messages, without the messages, with the time duration, everything can be shown using separate these several like separate diagrams, isn't it? So you can use separate diagrams to show the separate outputs. Okay, so as we were learning, I think I taught you the algorithms and everything. නේද? Algorithms ඉගෙන ගත්තා. මේ ඔක්කොම pseudo codes ඉගෙන ගත්තා. Flow charts ඉගෙන ගත්තා. Okay, flow chart එකට examples, and then software development life cycle. I was explaining that thing, analyzing, getting the requirement, and then you will be analyzing, then you will be coming up with the design. Okay, now currently that is what we were learning, designing it. So in the next class only we will be coding and implementing. Okay, so then designing ekedi tiyana godak designs. Okay, you are having sequences program, you are having algorithms. Didn't I teach you? Didn't I teach you? I taught you, right? Algorithms. Can't you remember? Pseudocodes, flowcharts. Didn't I teach you? Pseudocodes, flowcharts. You can know that. Solitaralea pseudocodes, flowcharts. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, algorithms we did. It was a separate algorithm. Means the way you solve the problem. So that is what we learned. Okay. Flowchart. Yeah. That is what is algorithm, Putal. Algorithm kiyanne pseudocode, and that's why I was teaching everything previously. Okay, can't forget all the things. These are algorithms. Algorithm kiyanne the way you solve a problem. Okay, the way you solve a problem. It's a step by step solution for a problem. Like algorithm kiyanne even in your day-to-day life you are doing algorithm. You are like in order to solve something. If you are baking a cake, that means that is an algorithm. Okay, there is a way to solve it. So then in your maths class, if you are like solving a calculation, that is algorithm. Okay, you are solving that problem. Okay, if there is a if you are like inventing something, then that is an algorithm. Okay, for that you have to come up with the solution step by step. So for that algorithm you can have names. So one is pseudocode. When it comes to programming, those are known as pseudocode and flowcharts. That is what is algorithm. Okay, then අපි බලමු Java කියන්නේ. දැන් අපි අලුතින් අද පටන් ගන්න යන්නේ පුතා Java program එක. So I will be explaining what is Java programming, how it works and all. Then we can start programming, and I will be showing you what are the things that you have to download for the next class. Okay, so Java එක code කරන්නට වෙනම IDE එකක් ඔයාලා download කරන්න ඕනේ. I'll show you the software for to download the Java IDE to code Java. You can't just code Java in Visual Studio. Visual Studio has been it has been particularly separately, it has been developed for the visual C Sharp and other programming languages. But when it comes to Java, it needs some other libraries. In this presentation itself, I will be explaining you what are the things that the Java needed to run. Okay, Java program ekak run karanna onna there are some things that you needed. Okay, so analyzement, testing and review maintenance, we have not yet come to that pass, but still we are under the designing. So now Java kiyanne it's a programming language. Okay, programming language එකක් කියන්නේ ඔයාලට දන්නව නේද? Where we will be giving instruction to the computer, isn't it? In order to give the instruction to the computer, we can't just talk to the computer. We have to give instruction through a language where the computer can understand. Yeah, the computer එකට කියලා understand කරන්න පුළුවන් language එකක් තියෙනවා. There are many languages: C Sharp, C++, C program, Java, Python, PHP, isn't it? There are many languages. So we are learning under those languages. We are learning about a particular language which is known as Java. So මේ Java කියන language එක release කරේ Sun Microsystems කියන company එකෙන් ඉඳලා. හරිද? Sun Microsystem කියන company තමයි මේක invent කරේ, මේක publish කරේ 1991 එකේ තමයි මෙයාලා publish කරේ මේ language එක. Okay, then it has been published recently නේද? So then James Gosling කියන කෙනා තමයි මේක found කරේ. මේ language එක found කරේ කවුද කියලා කිව්වොත් James Gosling කියන කෙනා. So Java means puta in I don't know the exact name of the country, but in some countries, the Java kiyanaka it's a kind of a coffee. Okay. So coffee then Nescafe things are there, right? Even in coffee, like there are like types of coffee, right? So Java kiyanaka it's a cup of a coffee. Okay, it's kind of a coffee. So most of the time programmers they used to drink coffee. Harida me story එක කියන්න we like programmers used to drink lots of coffee because it contains since it contains caffeine. caffeine එක බිව්වතින් අපිට අර මේ laziness එක නැති වෙනවා එහෙම කියලා තියෙනවනේ. එහෙනම් ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට coffee බොන එක පුරුද්දක් විදිහට තියාගෙන ඉනවා programmers ලා. Okay, usually they used to have a cup of a coffee where they drink the coffee and then they do the work. Okay, so they won't get sleepy and other stuffs. uh so so according to that only they have kept, okay, like since the programmers are drinking more of coffee and all, they just came up with there's a story behind that. Okay, so that is how the Java name came to this programming language. Java කියන name එක ආවේ එහෙම තමයි. And then Java is an object oriented programming. Mainly you have to know about that. The Java is an object oriented programming. Making up object oriented programming කරන්න පුළුවන්. As we learn object oriented එක මම ඔයාලට කියලා දුන්නා. Object oriented paradigms වලට කියලා දුන්නා. Abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism නේද? ඔක්කොම කියලා දුන්නා නේද? So you know how in inheritance ඔක්කොම දන්නවා. So we will be coding all the things in object oriented. So then there are features like for the object oriented this Java language, it is really simple. Okay, so if you learn it properly, then it would be really simple for you. And then object oriented mainly, and then distributed, and then interpreted, and then robot, secure, architectural, natural, portable thing like independent platform independent okay, platform independent. Like even you can code it in my iOS එකත් code Mac එකත් code කරන්න පුළුවන් Java. At the same time you can run the same application in Windows, Ubuntu, Linux. It's platform independent. Okay, portable කියන්නේ high performance. Okay, and then multi-threaded, and then dynamic gains you can change it while we are like static you cannot change it. Dynamic means you can change it while to it. Okay, so then මේ වගේ ගොඩක් features මේ language එකට තියෙනවා. Now let's see how does Java works, Puta. So this is the main thing. So here I'm having a video with me. Wait, I'll share it with the audio. Okay.
Process in Java. Let's first take a quick look at the linking process in C. Suppose in the main,
Can you hear the voice? The sound is coming, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
you have called two functions, f1 and f2. The main function is stored in a file a1.c. Function f1 is stored in a file a2.c. Function f2 is stored in a file a3.c. All these files are fed to the compiler, whose output is the corresponding object files, which is the machine code. The linker will club these three files together and produce an exe file.
Did you understand this? Okay, I'll just explain. This is not the Java program. This is C program. Here C program, computer program. Okay, so before Java there was another languages, right? All the other languages are right. So they will be explaining about the Java as well. When it comes to C program, so since they are like see all these are objects. Okay, so here what that they have done is classes. All these are separate classes. So main class is there, and then the name of the class is a1.c, and then a2.c class and then there's another class called a3.c. So here both the same functions are there under the main function. Function can, you know, right, a method doing something. Throwing a ball is a method, something like that. Okay, function. So clicking a button is a function. Adding both number is a function, something like that. Okay, so functions, I have taught you all these things. Okay, previously method dekak represent කරන්න you have to use the braces කියන එක ඔක්කොම කියලා දීලා තියෙනවා නේද? So all these three are languages, functions. So these three files has been compiled. මං ඔයාලට මේක කියලා දීලා තියෙනවා at the beginning. Can you remember? Compiler කියලා කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා ඔයාගේ computer එකේ ඇතුලේ which would turn your languages or else the computer languages into the human languages or else the programming languages into computer language or else machine languages. Okay, so machine language එකකට මේක turn කරනවා. Okay, it is changing the languages into machine languages, and then machine language එකකින් මෙතන object එකක් විදිහට මෙයා create කරගන්නවා. Okay, so this has an object, this has an object, this has an object. All the three objects will get linked together and then it will create one file. Then it would be really easy to the computer to do the progress. Look at this.
During program run, a loader program will load an exe into the RAM for execution. Let's look at the process for Java.
Okay, එතකොට දැන් ඔයා function මේ තුනම දුනම compile කළා ඒ තුනම එකට අරන් එක file එකක් විදිහට තමයි RAM එකට යවන්නේ. So RAM will do all the three functions in under the one file itself. Okay, but when it comes to Java, we'll see.
In your main, you have two methods, f1 and f2. Main method is stored in file a1.java. f1 is stored in file a2.java.
Oh.
What just happened? Who is the host right now currently? Nadira, can you make me as the host? Yeah. Thank you. I'll do this coding and show you, okay? Then you would understand. Mummy code එක ඔයාලට කරලා
Files and produce. f2 is stored in file a3.java. The compiler will compile the three files and produce corresponding .class files, which consists of the bytecode. Unlike C, no linking is done. The JVM, C, no linking is done.
how this is understood. Java එකේ linking මොකුත් කරන්නේ නැහැ. It won't turn all the files into another one file. Okay, අර ax.x exe කියන file එකක් විදියට C එකේ turn කරන්නේ. But Java won't turn it into something like that. The compiler will separately turn it into classes and it will send the objects. That's it. Okay. So we'll code this, okay? මම ඔයාලට functions දෙකක් code කරලා වෙන වෙනම code එකෙන් main program එකක් run කරලා පෙන්නන්න.
The JVM, Java Virtual Machine, resides on the RAM. During execution, use
මේක ළමයින් look at this carefully. JVM මේක මම ඔයාලට කියලා දෙන්නම්. Especially for Java, there are things that you have to learn. Okay, can't just code Java program. C# is fine, it's okay, fine, you can just code it. But when it comes to Java, there is something called JVM, then there are things, okay? So there's another library as well. So we have to learn all these things. I will be explaining through this presentation. So RAM එකේ ඇතුළේම බලන්න, when you are running the NetBeans program itself, it will take a location just to have all the Java classes and everything. JVM will take it. Okay, RAM that is related to your computer, right? But even in RAM, JVM will take a place and then it will store all the classes. See,
in class loader, the class files are brought on the RAM. The bytecode is verified for any security breaches. Using the bytecode verifies of the JVM. Next, the execution engine will convert the bytecode into native machine code. This is just-in-time compiling. It is one of the main reasons why Java is comparatively slow. There is more to the JVM architecture which will be discussed in later tutorials.
Okay. So all the three classes would come into the RAM, and then inside the RAM there is something called JVM. Okay, Java virtual machine කියලා අපි කියනවා මේකට. Okay, so Java virtual machine will take all the three classes. Okay, and then it will load the class, and then the class loader will take it, and then it will turn it into byte codes. You know, right? Computer will only understand bytes, isn't it? Ones and zeros. And then execute engine එක ඊට පස්සේ තමයි execution එක වෙන්නේ. So it is doing a really huge process. Java. Okay, but Java is really a good programming language because since it is really being used to develop Android application and all. Okay, the Java can be used. Okay, එතකොට Java virtual machine එකේ මොනවද වෙන්නේ නම් මේ වගේ classes තුනම load කරලා byte code එකක් විදියට change කරනවා. Okay, so here earlier compiler was like compiling it into machine language and it linked it together and then RAM executed it. But here it is getting the class separately and then it is verifying it into a byte code, and then only the execution is being generated through JIT. Okay, code generator. Java. Okay, so I hope this is clear. කොහොමද inside the computer how it is working කියන එක. දැන් අපි බලමු JVM කියන්නේ මොනවද කියලා. Okay, so first of all JDK, JRE, JVM කියලා තියෙනවා. හරි? So when you take the IDE, okay, IDE එක ගත්තාම ඔයාගේ මොනවාද Java code කරන IDE එක ගත්තාම NetBeans එක තමයි අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්න යන්නේ. Okay, if not Eclipse කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. Eclipse එකත් පුළුවන්. We'll see. Okay, which is good කියන එක බලලා මම ඔයාලට කියන්න මොන එකද download කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා. So inside the Java development kit, so JDK කියන එක තමයි ඔයාලගේ Java program develop කරන kit එක. Okay, ඒක තමයි ඔයා පාවිච්චි කරන යන. It could be Eclipse or else it could be NetBeans or whatever it is. Inside that you will be having something called පුතා JRE, Java runtime environment කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. හරිද? ඒක ඇතුලේ තියෙනවා. So when you are coding, you will be developing it using the kit, and then Java runtime environment එකේ ඇතුලේ තියෙනවා JVM කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම development tools එක වෙනම තියෙනවා. Okay, so development tool එකේ අපිට පුළුවන් ඒකේ තියෙනවා example එකට development tool එකේ තියෙනවා interpreters and compilers. So they are the one who will be compiling and interpreting the languages. Okay, or the program will get interpret or else compile through this section. Okay, එතකොට RAM එකේ මේක ගන්නවනේ JDK කියන එක අපේ software run වෙන එක. JRE මොනවාද කරන්නේ නම් RAM එකෙන් ඉඳලා මේ වගේ location එකක් අරන් තියා ගන්නවා just to have the JVM and then the development tools. The Java virtual machine මොනවාද කරන්නේ නම් it has set of libraries and other files. Okay, so all these combined together only the Java program can be run. Okay, so there are three notations of JVM. Okay, specification, implementation, and then the instance. Okay, load the code, verify the code, and then execute the code, and then provide the code. So provides. So what the JVM does is actually it load the codes, verify කරනවා, execute කරන්න යා තමයි. ඒ වගේම provide කරන්න අපිට ඕන දේ provide කරන්න තියා තමයි. So all the things are happening in where JRE කියන මේ section එකේ. I have another video for you. You will easily understand. You can easily understand through that. Java runtime environment එක ගමු. Okay, JRE එක නේ JVM එක තියෙනවා set of libraries and other stuffs, other files. So JRE is an encrypted file Java runtime environment. It is also written in Java RTE. The Java runtime environment is a set of software tools which are used for developing Java application. It is used to provide the runtime environment. It is the implementation of JVM. So it physically exists. It consists of sets of libraries and other files, and yeah. So in Java, then ඔයා NetBeans එක run කරනකොට JRE කියන එක ඔයාට බලන්න පුළුවන්. You can physically look at the thing because it is not like inside the RAM. Okay, so you will be like RAM එකේ ඇතුලේ JVM එකනේ එයා නේද ඉඩක් කරන් කරන්නේ. ඔයාට මේක බලන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයාට ඕන libraries මොනවාද, ඔයා කෝඩ් කරන දේවල් ඔක්කොම ඔයාට අද files ඔක්කොම තියෙන ඔක්කොම දේවල් ඔයාට මේකෙන් බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. JRE එකේ. but JRE එකේ ඇතුලේ තියෙන මේ Java virtual machine එකත් අද virtual machine ඔක්කොම තියෙන ඇතුලේ JRE එකේ. Java runtime environment එකේ. හරිද? අපි බලමු. I'll show you another video. Look at this video. Yeah, then you
Hi, this is Shring Siddharth once again. Welcome to the next video of this course of JVM software or machine. JVM is actually the Java virtual machine. So this is actually virtually present in your software or hardwares. And it simply helps to execute the Java code in your device. And it has no physical
guys, can you hear?
presence in your Java virtual machine. So this is actually virtually present in your software or hardwares. And it simply helps to execute the Java code in your device. And it
No, can't you hear? Can't you hear?
has no physical presence in your device, right? So the Java virtual machine simply provides the environment for the code execution. And now next comes the JRs, and it has no physical presence in
Yeah, it doesn't have any physical presence. JVM doesn't look like, we cannot just look at the JVM. Okay, when it comes to Java runtime environment, you will be able to see, but virtual machine is not visible. Okay, it's hidden. You cannot see anything in. You can't hear. Mira, wait. I'll try to share it again. The sound. Okay. Now let's see. Java virtual machine means Puta, where you will be able to, you won't be able to see anything. It is inside the RAM. Okay. It is not visible. It is not physically visible. You're not like in runtime environment.
your device, right? So this is actually virtually present in your software or hardwares. And it simply helps to execute the Java code in your device. And it has no physical presence in your device, right? So the Java virtual machine simply provides the environment for the code execution. And now next comes the JRE. So let us now represent it with the help of green box. So the JRE is actually the combination of the JVM and few libraries set, right? So the Java runtime environment is actually the combination of both. Now you all know what is actually the JVM. So in addition to JVM, we have here the libraries set. Now these are the libraries set that Java Virtual Machine requires in the runtime for the code execution, right? So the JRE simply helps you to run the code in your device. But now, then comes the JDK. So now, let us represent it by with the help of orange box. Now JDK stands for Java Development Kit. So this Java Development Kit contains the JRE, in which we have the JVM plus the libraries set, and in addition to JRE, in case of JDK, we have the development tools, right? Now, the JRE, as we all know, only helps to run the code. But if you want to develop some application or write some program, so for that you need some development tools such as the debugger, compiler, executor, and so on. So all these are actually present inside the development tools. So the JDK helps you to develop some Java applications, right? So these are JVM, JRE, and JDK in sequence. So let us now proceed and know these JVM, JRE, and JDK personally. So what actually is Java
තුනටම වෙන වෙන අර example is it clear? JVM කියන එක it's visible. I think there is a connection problem. Wait. Okay, fine. I think you can see.
How the Java code
This is not needed, okay, but you have to understand how actually Java is working inside the computer without knowing how it is working and all. Like you can just code the program and you can run it, but exactly you doesn't know how it is, what is happening inside the computer. So first thing, before we install or download the software, JDK and everything, we have to know about the working process which is happening inside the computer, right? So that is what it which is has been like giving, which is being explained through this video really clearly, so you can easily understand.
gets converted into the bytecode and how the Java language is platform independent, right? So the JVM is just a part of it where you can simply run your Java code. And now next, what are the tasks of the JVM? It simply loads the code, verifies the code, execute the code and simply provides the runtime environment for the code execution. So without JVM, you cannot run any code, right? And at the end, the Java virtual machine is actually platform dependent. That is, whatever device or softwares that requires Java to run have different JVM configuration. So that is why we say the JVM is platform dependent. Fine. And now next, we have the JVM does not exist physically. That is, you cannot see the JVM in your device. It is actually just an environment which is abstract in nature. So this was all about JVM. Now proceeding forward, what is JRE? Now the JRE is actually the combination of JVM plus library set. So here JRE is JVM plus libraries. And it is actually known as the implementation of the JVM. So whenever we actually try to run the Java code, the JVM requires some libraries set or some files for the code execution. So that is why we say JRE is actually the implementation of the JVM. And now to run any Java program, the JRE is actually the minimum requirement. So in order to open any Java application, you need a minimum of JRE, that is JVM plus libraries. And next we have JRE contains set of libraries that JVM uses at the runtime. And next we can say the JRE physically exists, that is it is not abstract in nature compared to the JVM. And at last we have the JRE is platform dependent because the JVM that constitutes the JRE is also platform dependent. So that is why the JRE is also platform dependent in nature. And now proceeding forward, let us now proceed and check out what does this JDK stands for. Now the JDK stands for JRE plus development tools and JRE in return contains JVM plus libraries, right? We all are aware of this. So what about this development tools? So the JDK is actually the full featured software development kit and it contains JRE and development tools. Now the JRE in returns contain JVM plus libraries. Now what about this development tools? So the development tools comprises of the debugger, compiler and the Java doc, right? So you can say the JDK is actually the complete package for any Java application development. You can run your code, execute your code, launch your application, etc. etc. So at the end, let us now check out what are the practical purpose of JVM, JRE and JDK individually. Now the JVM just provides the environment for the code execution. So, when the JVM tries to execute the code, it requires some set of libraries that is present inside the JRE. So, the JVM plus library set, which is equivalent to JRE, serves the purpose to run the code. So, to run a normal piece of Java code, you need a minimum of JRE. Without JRE, you cannot run your application code. And now at the end, to make that application or to develop any Java application, you need to have the Java development kit. So the Java development kit is used to run the code plus programming. That is, to run the code, we need the JRE. And for the programming or development of any application, that is writing any code and testing it with the help of debugger, we need some development tools. So for that, we need this development tools component that comprises of the compiler, debugger and the Java doc.
Yeah, that's all. Okay, that's all you have to know. So you might have got a clear idea about how it is working inside your computer, how the Java is working inside your computer. Okay, so we can't just run it now. You have to know that as well, right? Like, I can just show you this is the software you have to use and you can code it. Like I can teach you the coding, but exactly how the JDA is working කියන එක ඔයාලා බලාගත්තා නම් තමයි you know JDK, okay, sorry, JDK එක කොහමද වැඩ කරන්න කියන එක බලාගත්තා නම් තමයි point of using එක ඔයාලට තේරෙන්නේ නේද? You may know. Okay, so while I'm running, so this might be happening inside the computer. Java runtime environment is taking this, and then inside the Java and runtime environment, virtual machine is there. Virtual machine might be using those libraries, and it is running happening කියන එක ඔයාලට තේරෙයි. Okay, so you know now how the program is going to work when you are running the program. So this is simple program where we can code, and then we'll just code this in notepad. Okay, notepad එකේ අපි code කරලා Java application එකක් විදියට save කරලා, and then we'll run this. Public class hello world කියන class එකක් තියෙනවා. In that we are going to we are going to use a method called main method. So for that we will be coding it as public static void main string .arg string args කියන එක. So this is something I will teach you. Okay, while you are coding, even I would teach you. There is a shortcut way for it as well. SVM කියන එක අපි PSVM කියන එක type කරලා tab key එක press කරාම automatically the entire this code path will get generated, and then system.out.println කියන එක. Now earlier when I was teaching you Puta, I taught you that there is something called like when we were learning C#, I taught you console application. Either console application nekedi, when you try to display something, if you wanted to display something, there you have to write something called console.writeLine .writeLine, isn't it? And inside the bracket you would write whatever that you wanted to display. So that's how you wrote the code in C#. But when it comes to Java, if you wanted to print something or display something, there is a separate code which is known as system.out.println. Inside the double quotation, you have to write whatever that you wanted to print, so the system would print it out. But it another මේක තමයි මෙතන තියෙන වැඩ. හරිද? එතකොට system.out.println කියන එක තමයි ඔයාලා ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ දෙය. Public class එක අපි create කරන්න යන public අපි මේ public private කියන දේවල් මම ඔයාලට කියලා දෙන්නම්. void public private ඒ වගේම protected මේ දේවල් මම ඔයාලට පස්සේ කියලා දෙන්නම්. But for now you have to know about the Java programming. That's what I just wanted to explain to you guys. Okay, we'll just keep it as okay, here they have given some other things as well. Before we code this, we'll just have a look as well. Look on this. Okay, so Java program consists of white spaces, comments, tokens. So spaces between tokens, line breaks, and then the tab key presses is known as white spaces. මේ කියන්නේ පුතා මේකෙන් අපි code then සමහර විට then ඔයා හිතන්න when you are working in a company, හිතන්නකෝ then ඔයා company එකකට ගියා Java programmer කෙනෙක් විදියට. Now you are working as a programmer. එතකොට ඔයාගේ colleague කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලා කියනවා අර white space එක එතනින් remove කරන්න කියලා. So you are wondering what is white space කියන්නේ මොනවාද අප්පා මොනවාද මෙයා කියලා ගියේ කියලා you are wondering, you doesn't know. that is simple thing. Okay, so you have to know these wordings. Okay, white space kyanne mona kittada Java, they use these things. Okay, when it comes to Java, they use separate wordings where it represents some like token ekata line breaks or take eකට එහෙම එයාලා white spacing තමයි කියන්නේ. Okay, so it's like that is a different language, right? That is a programming language, right? So that programming language requires this like when you are using a tokens or else line break එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා කියමුකෝ. You are entering and breaking a line. Now this is a line break, isn't it? So for that also they tell that is a white space. And then tab key එකෙන් ඔයා space එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා කියමුකෝ. ඔයාගේ tab key එක තියෙනව නේද? keyboard එකේ. tab key ஒண்டி கிட்ட உங்களோட கீபோர்ட்ல நீங்க அந்த tab keyயால ஒரு press பண்ணி ஒரு tab space ஒன்று வெச்சாலும் அதுக்கு நாங்க சொல்லுவோம் white space ன்னு. So white space කියන මේ wording එක it's related to Java. Okay, if someone says you අර white spacing එක remove කරන්න මචං කියලා කිව්වම අනේ white spacing කියන්නේ මොනවද කියලා දන්නේ නැතුව උඩින් තියාගෙන හිතන්න එපා. හරිද? It's just the thing. Okay, it could be a token or else it could be a line break or it could be a tab key press. Okay, එහෙමත් නැත්නම් එයා එතන කියනවා මචං මෙතන white space එකක් තියන්න කියලා. You don't want them. Okay, you just keep a tab key press or something. So according to that program. And then comments. Text entered in the Java source code to improve the readability of the program, makes the program easier to understand and then maintain. Single line comment, multi-line comment, Java doc comments කියලා තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ comment එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ there are okay, this also will be really useful. Okay, you have to remember Buddha. Now these things going to help your future. Comment කියලා කියන්නේ අයියෝ comment අපිට දන්නවනේ මේක මොනවාද comment එකක් දාන්න දන්නේ නැද්ද කියලා හිතන්න එපා. Okay, this is separate comment. Okay, so when it comes to comment, it's really important as a programmer you have to do comments. Okay, not in Instagram or Facebook. Okay, but this is when it comes to coding. When you are coding in the real-time programming, you have to add comments in your source code. Okay, not like code එක කරගෙන ඉන්නවා මෙදින් නිකන් text එකක් දානවා මෙතන මම කරගෙන හිටියේ මේක කියලා එහෙම නෑ. Okay, so there are ways you can add a single line comment or multi-line comment or Java doc comment. Okay, I'll show you all the three comments. Okay, example with example. So the use of this comment is Puta, it improves your coding readability. That means assume that now I am coding something. Currently I am working on one of my project. එතකොට දැන් මගෙන් නදීර අහනවා madam can you please give your project that you are coding කියලා. So now I am giving it to her. So now she has to go through the coding, right? So while she is reading the coding she couldn't understand anything. So what I have to do is as I am the programmer, my what we say like நான் என்ன செய்ய வேணும்னு சொன்னா நான் ஒரு ப்ரோக்ராமரா வந்து நான் என்ன செய்வேன்னு சொன்னா what I have to do is I have to include comments. Okay, so including comments කියලා කියන්නේ that is to make the user who is reading the program to understand the program. Then මම මෙතන code එකක් කරලා තියෙනවා කියලා කියන්න the entire page like about 150 200 lines are there which I have coded. No point of just coding. Okay, if I have added comments in between the codings, then here I can say this button has been created to add the products into the cart. Okay, if not this button is to submit the form, or else this function is happening to insert a student detail. Likewise a simple comment can be given. Okay, so that comment could help Nadira to read and understand my coding. Okay, so readability එක improve කරන එකට තමයි මේ comment කියන එක අපි දෙන්නේ. Source code එක improve කරනවා, ඒ වගේම readability එක වැඩි වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම program can be easily understand and maintain කරන්නටත් මේක උදව් වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම understand කරන්නටත් උදව් වෙනවා. Okay, as I told you earlier, maintain කරන්න නම් now I won't be able to maintain the entire system all the time, right? So since I am the programmer, I can't all the time maintain the system. But maybe sometime now assume that පුලස්ති මංගාව ඇවිල්ලා system එකක් හදලා දෙන්න කියලා කියලා තියෙනවා. Then I have created a system and then I have given to him. So he is currently working using it and then doing all the works, and then sometime later he's thinking that he wanted to add another additional function into that. So at that time, I am not here in Sri Lanka, or else if I am not alive, so assume, okay, I am not there. So he can't come back again to me, right? So he have to take the system to some other programmer where they can do the modification. So if I have added the comment clearly, then then other programmers can easily understand, she have done these things, so we have to do the modification over here කියලා. Understood? So maintainability understand කරන්න පුළුවන්, ඒ වගේම readability තියෙන එකක් තමයි මේ හැම එකක්ම අපි හොඳට කරන්න ඕනේ නම් you have to use comments in between the coding. And then tokens. Java is a tokenized language. Those are the bits and the pieces of pieces converted by the Java compiler. Keywords, identifiers, literals, and then operators, separators කියලා ගොඩක් tokens තියෙනවා. මම ඔයාලට මේ හැම එකකටම examples පෙන්නන්න. So let's go one by one. Comments. As I told you, there are three kind of comments: single comment, line comment, multi-line comment, and then Java doc comment. So single line comment is also known as C++ style comment කියලාත් මෙයාට කියන්න පුළුවන්. හරි? Everything in everything on a line after two conservative slashes is treated as a comment. Okay? ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාට මේ වගේ two slashes වලට පස්සේ ලියන හැම එකක්ම it is known as comment. So comment එකක් දෙන්න කියලා මේ comment එක එහෙමම run code එක run කරනකොට ඒක execute වෙලා එහෙම run වෙන්නේ නැහැ. It's just a comment. ඔයා read අර code එක read කරන්න පුළුවන් easy කරන්නට එහෙම තමයි comment එකක් දාන්නේ. Understood? It no point of like සමහර අය මගේ ළමයින් ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට මගේ students ඉන්නවා comment එකක් දාලා madam now I am running the code but it is not showing madam කියලා කියනවා. comment එකක් දාලා madam run කරනකොට මේක පෙන්වන්නේ නැහැ නේ madam කියලා කියනවා. That won't show you because this is just for the coding. coding එක understand කරන්න, ඒක readability එක වැඩි කරන්න, ඒකට තමයි අපි මේ comments කියන එක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. It's not going to run or it's not going to display anything, it's not going to show you anything, okay? It's just the comment. comment කියන්නේ comment එකක් නිකන්. It's just the comment to you are just giving the comment about the coding, that's it. Okay? And then simple or single line comment එකක් කරනවා නම් you can just use a slashes, okay? Consecutive. Yes. Tell me, Buddha.
அந்த C++ அந்த A++ எல்லாம் வந்து டிஃபரெண்டான இதுகளா இல்லாட்டி ஜாவாவோட சேர்ந்ததுகளா?
இல்ல C++ வந்து புத்தா அது வேற லாங்குவேஜ். சரியா? இவங்க என்ன சொல்லிறாங்கடா C++ ஸ்டைல் கமெண்ட் அப்படினு இதுக்கு வேறயா சொல்லுவாங்களாம். ஸ்லிப் அப்படினா சிங்கிள் லைன் கமெண்ட்க்கு வந்து C++ ஸ்டைல் கமெண்ட் அப்படினும் சொல்லுவாங்களாம். நாங்க அப்படினா சும்மா அவங்க சொல்லிக்கிறாங்க.
A++ மீக்குதானே டீச்சர்?
A++ இல்லனா
A++ வந்து இது வந்து நான் நினைக்கிறேன் டீச்சர் அந்த பேங்க்கள் அதுல யூஸ் பண்றதா இந்த ஜாவா ப்ரோக்ராம்?
ஜாவா ப்ரோக்ராம் வந்து புத்தா ப்ரோக்ராம். சரி, இது ஒரு ப்ரோக்ராமிங் லாங்குவேஜ். நாங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட்க்கு படிச்சோம் தானே ஷீஷா ப்ரோக்ராமிங் லாங்குவேஜ். அதே மாதிரியான ஒரு ப்ரோக்ராமிங் லாங்குவேஜ் தான் இந்த ஜாவான்னு சொல்ற லாங்குவேஜ். சரியா? இது
எதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க மேடம்?
பேங்க்ல யூஸ் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. சரியா? பேங்க்ல வந்து எப்படின்னா அவங்க சிஸ்டம்ஸ் தான் யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. அங்க வந்து ப்ரோக்ராமர்ஸ் உட்கார்ந்து கொண்டு ப்ரோக்ராம் பண்ணி கொண்டு இருப்பாங்க இல்ல புத்தா? சரியா? இது நீங்க ஒரு சாஃப்ட்வேர் டெவலப் பண்றதுக்கு, சரியா, இல்லன்னு சொன்னா ஒரு அப்ளிகேஷன் ஒன்று டெவலப் பண்றதுக்கு, போன் மொபைல் ஆப் டெவலப் பண்றதுக்கு, இப்ப பிக்மி, ஊபர், வாட்ஸ்அப், டெலிகிராம் அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாச்சும் ஒன்று நீங்க டெவலப் பண்ணணும்னா யூ கேன் யூஸ் ஜாவா ப்ரோக்ராம். ஓகே? C++ன்றதும் அந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு லாங்குவேஜ் உண்டு. அதை வச்சு உங்களுக்கு ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு சாஃப்ட்வேர் ஒன்று டவுன்லோட் டிசைன் பண்ணணும்டா டெவலப் பண்ணணும்டா செய்யலாம். ஓகே? பட் இங்க வந்து நான் இப்ப வந்து கமெண்ட்ஸ் பத்தி தான் சொல்லி தரேன். ஓகே? கமெண்ட்ஸ் எதுக்குண்டா கமெண்ட்ஸ் I'll show you. Wait, I'll show you. If not, you won't understand. With few examples, I'll run NetBeans. நீங்களும் NetBeans தான் நீங்க டவுன்லோட் பண்ண வேணும். NetBeans is the IDE which we will be using to implement the Java coding. Java is a programming language. Okay, you have to make sure that is a programming language. Now I have taught you already C# programming language. Now currently we are moving on to the Java programming language. Java programming language வந்து நாங்க இப்ப படிக்க போறோம். சரியா? I'll show you a few example. Okay, comment එකට මම ඔයාලට examples ටිකක් පෙන්නන්නම්. single line comment එකට පස්සේ තියෙන එකක් තමයි multi line comment කියන එක. Okay, let it start and then I'll show you. So look at this. Multi line comment ன்னு சொன்னா also known as C style comment කියලා. C++ அதெல்லாம் நீங்க மைண்ட்ல போட்டுக்கொள்ள வேணாம். These are separate languages. Like now as I am telling, இப்போ நான் தமிழ், சிங்கள, இங்கிலீஷ் அப்படின்னு எல்லாம் சொன்னேன்னா ஹியூமன் லாங்குவேஜ்ல ஒரு லாங்குவேஜ் சொல்றேன். ஏன்னா அதே மாதிரி ப்ரோக்ராமிங் லாங்குவேஜ்ல சின்னு சொன்ன ஒரு லாங்குவேஜ், C++ன்னு சொன்ன ஒரு லாங்குவேஜ், ஜாவான்னு சொன்ன ஒரு லாங்குவேஜ், PHPன்னு சொன்ன ஒரு லாங்குவேஜ், பைத்தான்னு சொன்ன ஒரு லாங்குவேஜ், டஸ்கன்னு சொன்ன ஒரு லாங்குவேஜ், C# சொன்ன ஒரு லாங்குவேஜ். ஆல் தீஸ் ஆர் லாங்குவேஜஸ். all those are programming language. ஒரு வேலையை நாங்க செய்யறதுக்கு கம்ப்யூட்டருக்கு விளங்குற மாதிரி நாங்க பேசி கொடுக்குற சொல்ற ஒரு விஷயத்துக்கு தான் நாங்க சொல்லுவோம் இந்த ப்ரோக்ராமிங் லாங்குவேஜ்னு சொல்லி. ஸோ මල්ටිලයින් කමෙන්ට් එකට අපි කියනවා C style comment කියලා. Okay, nickname එකක් වගේ තමයි කියලා තියෙන්නේ. හරිද? මේකට මෙහෙමත් කියන්න පුළුවන්ලු. Everything between the slash and then that kind of a star symbol and the again closing star symbol and then the slash is treated as a comment. Okay, as a multi-line comment. நீங்க இப்ப இதுக்கு நடுவுல நீங்க என்ன டைப் பண்ணினாலும், எவ்வளவு பெரிய பந்தி நீங்க டைப் பண்ணினாலும் அது அப்படியே வந்து கமெண்டா இருக்கும். சரியா? இத பொறவைக்கு நீங்க இப்ப நான் இது ஏன் சொல்றேன்டா, இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கமெண்ட் ஏன் கட்டாயம் தேவைன்னு சொன்னா, இப்ப நான் ஒரு ப்ரொஜெக்ட் ஒன்லி இப்ப இந்த 2022ல ஒர்க் பண்ணிக்கொண்டிருக்கேன். ஓகே, assume that I am working on a project. Okay, මට දීලා තියෙන පික්මී කියලා ඇප්ලිකේෂන් එකක් හදලා දෙන්න කියලා. හිතන්නකෝ දැන් කවුරු ගාවත් නෑ කියලා ඇප්ලිකේෂන් එක අලුතින් මම තමයි ඩෙවලොප් කරන්න කියලා. දැන් මම පික්මී කියන ඇප්ලිකේෂන් එක ඩෙවලොප් කරනකොට man lokuවට inside program karanne mangne. Now you guys are programmers, so you guys are now what I am doing is adding some multi-line comments and single line comments and all. Okay, මෙතන මේක වෙනවා, මේ බටන් එක ක්ලික් කරාම මේක වෙන්න ඕනේ, මේක මෙහෙම වෙනවා. Now even පුතා, like when you are making a cake, you would have a recipe list with you, right? A recipe එක බලලා තමයි කරන්නේ නේද? So same something like that. Okay, so this is like comment. So this is what is happening over here. එහෙම කියලා අර සමහර තැන්වල අපි comment එකක් දාගන්නවා. Then now it's 2022, after like 20 years. Okay, 20 years වලට පස්සේ ඒ කියන්නේ 2042 වගේ නේද? 42 වගේ කාලෙදී එතකොට එක්කෙනෙක් එනවා application එක ගන්නවා modify කරන්න. Opening only the code is there, no comment. එතකොට එයාට දන්නවද මොනවාද මෙයා කෝඩ් කරලා තියෙන්නේ කියලාවත්? කමෙන්ට් එකක් නැත්තම්. That is why we are giving this comment. Then later on they can easily understand. If the comment is there, then they can easily understand. මෙතන මෙයා මේක කරලා තියෙනවා. Here they have done this done, this has been done, this has been done කියලා. They can easily understand the coding. That is the main purpose of commenting. කමෙන්ට් එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ අපි කමෙන්ට් එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ even in Facebook and Instagram කමෙන්ට් එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ මොනවද? ෆොටෝ එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒ ෆොටෝ එක ගැන කියනවා නේද? If sometimes people scold, if not sometimes oh wow looking good එහෙම කියලා commenting means we are just like explaining about something, isn't it? We are like yeah, explaining. Okay, explaining things. Okay, that is the thing. Okay, comment එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ ඒකට තමයි. Okay, wait, I'll show you the way how we can do the commenting. So here some applications has been created, done, and then we'll go for this one. Okay, demo 5 එකක් තියෙනවා. Still don't worry about this, we'll be learning all the things. Okay, මම ඔයාලට මේක තමයි JDK එක. මම පාවිච්චි කරන JDK Java development kit එක මේක තමයි. The kit which I am currently using is this. So here look at this. So this is a system which we have created. So when you double click on the button, you will be able to see the source code. Now then ඔයාලට මොනාර එකක් understand කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? Is anything is like can you understand anything looking at this? තේරෙනවද මොනාර එකක්? කියන්න බලන්න මම මොනවද කෝඩ් කරලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා. Anyone? Can you tell me? No, right? So here then නිකන් එක්කෙනෙක්ට බලනකොට මේක තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. But the thing is, if I could add a comment over here, சரியா? நான் இன்னைக்கு ஒரு கமெண்ட் ஒன்று போட்டேன்டி வைங்க. So අපි කියමු මෙතන තියෙනවා variables. Okay, so all these string name, string address, string email කියන එක variables. So I'll just add a single line comment over there. Okay, අපිට පුළුවන් මෙතන comment එකක් දාගන්න where the user can easily understand. Okay, so this is what they have done කියන එක. That is it. Okay, so මම මෙතන comment එකක් add කරගන්නවා කියලා හිතමු. Okay, assume that I am going to add a comment over here. These are known as white spaces. If you are having a gap in between the system or as the text, that is known as white space. Okay, so assume that I am typing a comment over here. Okay, slashes, and then here you can type, okay, this is the these are the okay, I'm just typing what comes to my mind. Okay, variables created to the underscore එකක් තියලා you can just create something like this to the what action is happening, insert table, customer information. Okay, so then customer information information. Okay, it's a comment. So this is just a single line comment. දැන් මෙතන ඔයාට කියන්න පුළුවන් successfully inserted කියන තැනදී මෙතන ඔයාට ඕන කියලා හිතමුකෝ, assume you wanted to have a comment over here, but it's a multi-line comment එකක්. சரி, இங்க நீ multi-line comment එකක් கொண்டு நீங்க என்ன சொல்றீங்க, இன்றைக்கு இது J option panல இன்னைக்கு show message dialog காட்டுது தானே, இதுல வந்து இது வந்து என்னன்னு சொன்னா ஒரு சக்சஸ்ஃபுல் மெசேஜ் இனி காட்டுது அப்படின்னு நீங்க போட போறீங்க. இன்னைக்கு என்ன நடக்குது அப்படின்றத நீங்க சொல்ல போறீங்க. ஓகே, so you are telling what is actually happening. Okay, what is actually displaying over here. So that for that what you do, you are adding a comment. So you guys know that as I was explaining in the presentation, in order to represent a multi-level multi-line comment, you have to use something like this, right? A slash and then the star symbol. So we'll add that one. Slash slash and then again slash slash slash. So if you type something in between this, you can type whatever you want in between the these things. Okay, but these two stars. Let's say this is the we'll say dialogue message box shows the success box, message box. Star backward slash. இது ஒரு comment. Now, even though when you are running the program, nothing would happen. This is just a comment. Comment එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ ඔයා explain කරනවා what you have actually done. Okay, what you have actually coded over here. Okay, so මෙතන මොනවද වෙන්නේ? These data are being inserted into the table. That's what you are doing. Okay, so just showing, you are just typing the comment and then you are making your coding more readable for others to understand it. வணங்கிச்சா? others ஒரு இன்னொருத்தர் வந்து இதை பார்க்கக்குள்ள அவங்களுக்கு அந்த நல்ல விளங்கி கொள்றதுக்கு வந்து இதை நீங்க ஈஸியா செய்ய போறீங்க. Okay, that's why you are doing, that's what you are actually doing. Okay, so commenting means you are explaining what you have done actually. Okay, you are explaining what you have coded actually. So මෙතන ඔයාට පුළුවන් මෙතන අපි මේතන. Okay, so this is, you guys doesn't know database connection එක මම ඔයාලට කියලා දෙන්න. Yeah, here in this place only we will be connecting the database. Okay, so what you do is you can tell that connection එක කියන්න here comment එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන්. You can add a comment saying that single line comment එකක් නැත්නම් multi line comment එකක් මොනාරි දාන්න පුළුවන්. So multi line comment එකක් නම් even in a multi line you can add a comment, okay, like this. So you can say that this is where the database has been connected, okay, and then close the comment. නැත්නම් close කරන්න කලින් ඔයාලට enter කරලා තව line එකකින් මෙතන කියන්නත් පුළුවන්, okay. You can just say that here you can add your database connection details කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්, okay. So here in between, I'll zoom in and show you. In between the slash and a star symbol you are having, I'll zoom it in and show you. Yeah, can you see? Yeah, in between this you have just typed ආට ඕන එකක් ඔයා මෙතන මේ මොනවාද කරලා තියෙන්නේ. So පස්සේ උනත් දැන් ඔයා දැන් මේක ඔයා රීඩ් කරලා බලනවා නම් you can easily understand මෙතන තමයි database connection එක තියෙනවා. එතකොට මම මෙතන change කරා නම් හරි මේ database location local host එක මම මෙතන change කරා නම් හරි කියන එක ඔයාලට understand කරගන්න පුළුවන්, okay. So here the table can be selected over here. Like for each of the place you can give comment. இப்ப වැළඟිචා எல்லாத்துக்கும் දැන් තේරුණාද කොහොමද comment එකක් දෙන්නේ එයි කියන එක තේරුණාද? comment එකක් කියන්නේ මොනවද කියලා තේරුණාද? clearly තේරුණාද? Guys, tell me whether you understood or not. Okay, Dulakshan, very good. Okay. Now Java document එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ this is also a comment, okay. So all these comments could be used when it comes to Java commenting. Okay, comment, you can use whatever the comment you wish. Single line comment also can be used, multi-line comment also could be used. The multi-line comment and Java doc comments could be used to just comment like a lengthy lines, like a paragraph kind of explanation. To give a paragraph kind of explanation, you can use Java doc comment or else multi-line comments. But single line comment, just to give a single line explanation, you can use that single line comment, okay. So it's multi line comment specifically, okay, specified used. Okay, this is the symbol, okay, where you will be using a slash and then 2 stars. In between the 2 stars and the single star and a slash, you will be writing whatever you want, okay. Instead of 1 star, you will be using 2 stars. That is known as Java doc comment. அலைஞ்சா Java doc comment னு சொன்னா ஒரு ஸ்டார் இல்லாம 2 ஸ்டாரா போடுவீங்க, அவ்வளவுதான், okay. It can be processed and turned into HTML text by the Java docs tool as well, okay. That is separate thing, no need to worry about it. But Java doc comment එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ මේ වගේ මේ ස්ලෑෂ් එකත් එක්ක ඩබල් ස්ටාර් එකක් එඩ් කරලා ඒකේ මෙදින් ඔයා ටයිප් කරන එකට තමයි කමෙන්ට් එකක් ටයිප් කරනවා නම් ඒකට අපි කියනවා Java doc comment එකක් කියලා. And when it comes to Java separators, okay, separators කියන්නේ මේකට. Separators are characters used to group and arrange source code. So parentheses, braces, brackets, semicolons, commas, period symbols, these could be used here. Even when you are looking at this coding, you have parentheses, braces, commas, what are semicolons, period symbols, everything has been given here. All these are used over here, right? Parentheses there, braces are there, okay. So these are used when it comes to programming. So separators කියලා අපි මෙයාට කියනවා operators. Operators are individual characters and combinations of characters. They take one or more argument. Operators they take arguments, and then the operator operates to produce a result. So in order to produce a result, only operators could be used. So even here, even in the programming here, you would be able to see. Yeah, can you, is it visible here? All these are operators. Well, and a plus plus, greater than, equal, okay, all are operators. Yeah, multiple applied everything operators. Okay, I hope it is clear. Operators එකම තියෙනවා මේකේ variables. I taught you, right? Didn't I teach you variables කියන්නේ මොනවද කියලා? Memory location which temporarily stores the data and change during the execution time කියන එක මම කියලා දුන්නා නේද? So data type එකක් තියෙනවා. Okay, data type එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒකට integer the float the string the ඒ වගේ type එකක්. ඒ වගේම තියෙනවා identifier. That means the variable name. Age identifier. Age the name the මෙතන එන්න ඕනේ මොනවාද? I'll show you an example. Here in this case, in this coding, here these are the variables. Okay, so look at this. String name, this is a variable. Identifier, and then the data type is string. String address, identifier is address, the data type is string. String email, this is a identifier email, the data type of this is email. Here if you go back to the top, here you would be able to see some integer c. integer data type එකේ c variable එකක් තියෙනවා. c කියන එක තමයි identifier. c කියලා දාන්නත් පුළුවන්, අපිට ඕන එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන්. It depends. Variables means where you create variables, memory locations to get the value from the user. Now these are coding, right? இது வந்து நான் ஜாவால கோட் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். ஆனா இந்த கோடிங்கான inputs எல்லாம் யாரு தருவா? When you are running the program, who will be giving the inputs to the system? The users. You guys are going to give the input, right? So that input has to be taken and it has to be located into a location, memory location, and then it has to be passed, isn't it? That's what will happen over here. So these are libraries. We will learn it more clearly in the next class. So JVM එක run කරන්නට libraries ඕන වෙනවා කියලා කිව්වා නේද? Java virtual machine එකට library එකක්. So I'll teach you what are these libraries and all. Almost it's 10:1 now. So those are the things that I wanted to teach you today. So now you might have got a clear idea about Java, and then about the activity diagram, sequencer state, and then collaboration diagrams as well. Now you have become a half programmer. half program ඔයාලා දැන් හරිද? දැන් program කරන්න විතරයි තියෙන්නේ. program කරාම ඔයාලා programmer කෙනෙක්. Already you have programmed few programs in C# as well. C# එකේ console program කරන්න කිව්වොත් ඔයාලට දන්නවා ඒක කරන්න. Now we will learn how to code in Java, and Java එකේ කොහොමද application එකක් develop කරන්නේ, double OP concept එකේ මේ වගේ application code එක code කරලා මම ඔයාලට develop කරලා පෙන්නන්න. හරි? So we will be coding it in from next class onwards. We will be coding. Okay? So any questions, any doubts? You guys are really enthusiastic because my previous batches, they don't even ask question, they don't even do the homework. You guys are really good. Okay, and then that's all ne nang api vera karame. So you guys be prepared and come go through the recordings and take notes separately for the charts and all. It's going to help you in your future. Okay, remember කරගන්න මම ඔයාලට දැන් කිව්වා කියලා ඔයාලා කොහොමටත් ඒක උදව් වෙනවාමයි. හරිද? මේ charts හැම එකක්ම activity diagrams, other diagrams and all, it's going to really help you even when you are working in a company as a programmer. It's going to help you a lot. No, you have to download the application, Puta, but not now. Now then at on I'll tell you, I'll let you know. Next class I'll teach you how to download it, from which website you have to download and all. I'll teach you. Okay, I'll guide you through that. Okay, then we'll see you, meet up in the next class. See you guys. See you in the next class. Bye.